Welcome back to the Dutch Investors Podcast, where we decode the business secrets behind the world's most fascinating industries and companies. If you've been with us, you know we're deep into our luxury series. Today, laws of luxury, or rather, anti-laws of luxury. This is part 3 of our luxury series. Stay tuned as we explore the KPIs, secrets, laws, and strategies driving the luxury industry. Excited as I am? Well, let's get started. Oh man, I am so very excited about today's episode because when I started doing research on the luxury industry over a year ago, I had an idea of what luxury was and meant, but boy was I wrong in so many ways. And one of the most common made mistakes by investors looking to analyze luxury businesses is thinking that the traditional marketing strategies apply to them as well. But this wouldn't be further from the truth. Traditional marketing only applies to the bottom of luxury, premium, and so many other industries. It does not apply to actual true luxury. We call them the anti-marketing laws of luxury. So let's go over them. Starting with number 1. Luxury is not comparative. In traditional marketing, every brand has to have a unique positioning and competitive advantage. And while luxury companies also need a competitive advantage in some sort, traditional companies adapt to competition and target certain consumers. Nothing is more foreign to this approach than luxury. When it comes to luxury, being unique is what counts and not any comparison with a competitor. True luxury businesses should never compare themselves to others. Anti-marketing law number 2, the law of flaws. And while many consumers assume luxury is perfection, this is not true. The fact that luxury products are handmade and contain hours, years, days of craftsmanship means they're imperfect and have flaws. Flaws in the product means it has a soul. The imperfections give it the emotional connection many luxury lovers are looking for. But anything that's luxury has flaws. Number 3. Creator first, consumer second. Back in the 19th century, talented craftspeople were hired by rich lords and ladies to create something unique and one of a kind for them. The craftsperson listened to the wealthy elite, used the rarest materials, made what they wanted, and received a commission. This is how castles and mansions were built and furnished. In France, everything changed at the end of the 18th century, when craftspeople stopped accepting commissions and started making their own collections. This was a radical reversion between client and creator. Instead, the wealthy folks came to the creator to check out their latest collection, and the rest is history. This is still how a true luxury company should operate. Luxury companies should not focus on what consumers want, but on what the creative director wants and thinks the company needs. It's about retaining heritage and identity, and not about what is trendy or in demand. In traditional marketing, customers are king. For luxury companies, it should come from the creator or artist. Number 4, be inaccessible. In most industries, the most important KPI is volume growth, revenue growth, growth in geographies, and growth anywhere else. This leads traditional companies to come up with new products and services to grow revenue and meet the customer's needs. In luxury, this rarely works in the long term. Growing volume means becoming less exclusive. Growing into more and more markets means easier and more accessibility. This can also be dangerous if done too fast. At the end of the day, to be true luxury, you need to be inaccessible in a way, staying in the minds of consumers, but just being out of reach for most. Number 5. Less is more. The roots of less is more can be traced back to the poet Robert Browning, who used it in his 1855 poem Andrea del Sarto. In the poem, the phrase is used to suggest that something may be more effective or beautiful when it is understated rather than overly complex or ornate, and that's the essence of anti-marketing law 5. At Ferrari, production is deliberately kept relatively low compared to other car makers. Or as Enzo Ferrari, the founder of Ferrari, used to say, Ferrari will always deliver one less car than the market demands. It's about managing rarity, resisting demand, in order to be master of it. A luxury brand must have far more people who know it, who dream of it, than people who buy it. Law number 6. Dominate the client. Luxury has shifted from being about birthright to being a reward for success, taste, or wealth. Luxury brands set the tone for what's desirable by staying exclusive and maintaining their mystique. They guide people's choices, acting as symbols of status and achievement. It's not just about the product, but the feeling of aspiring to it and the validation that comes with it. Number 7. Waiting is good. Imagine you order something from Amazon. You'd want and expect it to be there as fast as possible, preferably the next or same day. Or say you're waiting in line at a grocery store. You hope that the cashier and service is nice and quick. In luxury, waiting is a must. Luxury needs to excel in the practice of looking rare so long as there are no real shortages. To create this obstacle to immediate consumption, it should always be necessary to wait for a luxury product. Time is a key dimension of luxury. Not everything you wait for is luxury, but to be luxury, you have to wait. Number 8. Dreamy ads. Nothing is more alien to traditional advertising than this declaration. In traditional marketing, the first thing to be done is to come up with a unique selling proposition. After each commercial, one looks at the sales figures to see whether the ad worked. In luxury, advertising is about the dream. The dream must always be recreated and sustained, for reality kills the dream. Number 9. Discounts mean death. Sales and discounts are tools of mass marketing, designed to drive volume and clear inventory. Discounting means cheapening the brand's image and dilutes its exclusivity. A true luxury product retains its value and allure without compromise, affirming its status as timeless and unattainable. If you see a so-called luxury brand having a discount, it's the beginning of the end. Discounts usually mean death for luxury. Number 10. Presumed prices should always be higher than the actual price. In the luxury world, price is something not to be mentioned. Most companies try to come up with a low price and then upsell. Think Renault, telling consumers a new car starts at 5k, but with all the extra features it costs around 10k. Or EasyJet, who offers round trips to London for $50, but with the additional space and luggage, you pay almost as much as a more expensive carrier. In luxury, the opposite should be the case. Number 11. Luxury sets the price. Price does not set luxury. Luxury operates on a supply-driven model, unlike traditional demand-based marketing. In traditional marketing, prices are determined by consumer demand and competition. In luxury, the process begins with creating the product, crafted to embody excellence and exclusivity, and only then is the price set to reflect its true value and rarity, very different from almost all other industries. Anti-marketing law 12. Raise prices, increase demand. And this is a weird one. In the standard market model, when the prices fall, demand rises. In luxury, the relationship is reversed. This specific concept is known as the Veblen effect. In luxury, price is mere a technical detail. If price becomes of an issue, we're no longer dealing with luxury. By raising prices, you lose the unwanted customers and become more attractive to your preferred customers. Weird, isn't it? Law 13. Don't sell. Luxury attracts. It doesn't pull. True luxury sells no quite often. If the wrong customer tries to buy, they are more than welcome to sell no in order to retain the brand image. True luxury should attract the right people and avoid the ones that can damage their image. Number 14. Keep famous people away. True luxury tends to stay away from famous people. In traditional marketing, we often see stars in advertisements. David Beckham for selling sunglasses or Nespresso with George Clooney. However, using stars in promotions is extremely dangerous for high-end luxury brands. A luxury brand becomes connected to a star in good times, but also in bad times. And as I already mentioned, luxury has to dominate the consumer, even if they are extremely wealthy or famous. Calling on the services of a famous person kind of sends a signal saying, "We need your help." If you see luxury brands using famous people to sell, ask yourself, how luxurious is that brand? Number 15. Do not relocate. Most companies move around. They try to become more efficient, try to optimize costs, reduce overhead, save on taxes, and more. Luxury, true luxury, should never. When people buy luxury, they are buying a product steeped in a culture, a city, or country. Having local roots increases the perceived value of that luxury item. Think Solomeo in Italy, made famous by Brunello Cucinelli. Think Maranello with Ferrari, or Paris, France for Hermès. As soon as this law is abandoned by a luxury brand, it's a big red flag. See what happened to Prada when they moved to China, or Burberry when they partially left the UK. It's not pretty. The only reason this is ever allowed is to access new and rare craftsmanship somewhere else. Think wool makers in Kashmir, or iron making skills in Niger, or Norla in Tibet. Number 16. Don't test. Luxury companies do not test among consumers. If you test, you're not luxury. Plain and simple. Chanel, Hermès, and Louis Vuitton never test. Testing means looking for consensus, looking for being accepted, wanting to sell more, and luxury doesn't need it. Anti-law 17. Don't reduce costs. Value creation should not come from cost reductions alone, but from added value. In luxury, the entire company must help to create value. Luxury value creation cannot solely rely on the creative director or CFO, but it depends on each employee of the luxury company. From the workshop floor, to the sales staff, to the management. Every single person has a role to fill, and in order to keep the brand, the dream, the heritage, the emotional connection alive, everyone is important. Law 18. Low margins online. Selling online has been growing every single year since the rise of the internet. And if you're not selling on the internet, you're out. And in most cases and industries, this is true. However, not for luxury. 85% of all sales still come from offline channels or in-store. Fashion, premium brands, and fast-moving consumer goods are very well suited to be sold online. Luxury is not. Luxury needs time and effort to be deserved, with no discounts, no price, one-to-one relationships, with actual people and not with a machine. Like I said before, it's not just about the product, but everything around it as well. Alright, 2 more. Law 19. Never explain yourself. Luxury thrives on mystique and storytelling, not on explanation. In traditional marketing, brands strive to educate the consumer, why the product is better, why it's worth the price, and how it outperforms competitors. Luxury, on the other hand, does quite the opposite. The less you explain, the more intriguing the product becomes. By keeping the details elusive and shrouded in mystery, luxury invites the consumer to project their own desires and fantasies onto the product. Explanation diminishes allure. Mystery enhances it. When it comes to luxury, if you need to explain, you've already lost. And last but not least, anti-law 20. Do not innovate. Yeah, you heard that right. Don't innovate. Innovation drives most industries forward, with companies racing to release the next big thing. Luxury, however, values timelessness over novelty. While craftsmanship may evolve subtly to ensure quality, the core identity of a luxury brand remains consistent and unchanging. Luxury thrives on heritage, not on reinventing itself. Constantly chasing innovation risks alienating the loyal clientele, who admire the brand for its enduring character. True luxury doesn't need or try to be new, it strives to be eternal. Man, I just love researching this type of stuff and thinking about it. It makes me even more excited to go even deeper. But I think we're not quite done just yet. I feel like sharing even more on this fascinating and unique industry. So let's head over to the KPIs. In the luxury industry, traditional economic indicators often fall short of capturing a brand's true performance. To effectively assess success, it's essential to focus on metrics that reflect the unique dynamics of luxury industry. So let's go over a few important ones. The first being, and probably the most important, brand equity. In luxury, a brand's prestige and heritage are everything. Brand sentiment, exclusivity, and customer loyalty measure this intangible but essential value. Luxury brands like Cartier and Tiffany & Co. prioritize customer engagement by creating immersive experiences, providing exceptional customer service, and fostering a sense of community among their clientele. How? Well, look for sentiment around the brand, negative or positive feedback, perhaps average transaction value, digital engagement metrics like website traffic, followers. This can help you get a better sense of the brand, but it's very difficult to tie branding to financial metrics because branding is such a gradual and slow process, and we may not see it in the financials in the short term. However, I do believe there are a few financial KPIs that can help you assess a luxury company. Traditional metrics like revenue, market share, and pricing power over competitors offer a starting point, but are not everything in luxury. Another important one is the gross margin. Due to the exclusivity and pricing, luxury brands often have high gross margins, and this is important for balancing the high costs of maintaining a luxury brand image. This is why many new luxury brands fail. They are still trying to build a brand, and they invest heavily in brand image without having the extreme pricing power. They are trying to look rich and luxurious, but they aren't there just yet. A high gross margin can mean the luxury business is successful and has a strong, established name. But like anything in life, there are exceptions. Another important one is controlled revenue growth. If Hermès wants to grow revenue by 25% a year, they probably could for a few years, but they don't want to. This is a short-term mindset. Hermès revenue growth has been quite consistent between 10 and 15% over the past 10 years, raising prices by around 5 to 10% each year. Slow and steady wins the race. Another important KPI when analyzing luxury companies is seeing whether the business is a family or founder-led business. This helps with a long-term mindset. The last one I do like looking for is the inventory turnover ratio. Quite a unique KPI in luxury, Well, it can also be used in a few others, where brands maintain lower inventory turnover due to the high value and exclusivity of items. However, they must balance scarcity with accessibility to stay desirable without flooding the market. For example, LVMH, Kering, Hermes, and Brunello Cucinelli all have an inventory turnover ratio between 1 and 2, while H&M, Zalando, and Nike are all above 3. It's definitely not the most important KPI, and there are exceptions as well, but in combination with the others, it can provide a solid overall picture. So, what's the takeaway from this episode? The luxury industry thrives by breaking the rules of traditional marketing. True luxury is not about discounts. It's about being inaccessible. It's about not listening to the consumer. It's about being mysterious, exclusive, and retaining heritage. Luxury isn't comparative. It's about being unique, not better. And imperfections matter. Flaws in craftsmanship add soul to the luxury products. Exclusivity is also extremely important. Accessibility dilutes the dream. Scarcity fuels desire. I thought that one was very well said. And the last one, less is more. Controlled production, as Ferrari's one car less than the market demand shows, keeps luxury rare and aspirational. Man, what a fascinating industry, and we're still not done. We're going even deeper. I love it. Curious to dive deeper into these principles and explore our premium content? Follow us over on Substack and check out our premium service at thedutchinvestors.com. Until next time, keep learning, be patient, and have a wonderful day. Bye everybody.